Okay, we're live now, but we have one more minute.
Thank you.
Even if I sat down and got this and did this all day long.
Mayor, will you pull that mic towards you? Thank you. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to the May 9th Board of Aldermen meeting. I now call this meeting to order. And I would ask everyone to rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would ask the city clerk to call roll for attendance.
Alderman Allen.
Here.
Alderman Even.
Here.
Alderman Francisco.
Here.
Alderman Holman.
Here.
Alderman Hughes.
Here.
Alderman Mortland.
Here.
Alderman Perot.
Here.
And Alderman Weezahan.
Here.
Mayor Reem is presiding, and we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Regarding the minutes from the Board of Aldermen meeting from April 25th, 2022, I seek a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Second, thank you. Any discussion or amendment of the minutes? Alderman Allen.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to have that vote because I did watch, I was absent that meeting, but I did watch the meeting on YouTube. So I'm prepared to vote.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I would ask the city clerk, are there anyone from the public that would like to speak?
No, sir, no one signed up with me.
Thank you. Next is a public hearing. Let me read that. A public hearing to review a request from Deborah and Robert Hellman, owner, for approval of a conditional use permit for a pavilion to be located at 12051 Gale Crest Lane in the Suburban Estate zoning district. I now declare the public hearing open, and I would ask the city clerk to enter exhibits.
Exhibit number 1 is affidavit of publication of notice of hearing, published in the St. Louis Countian on April 23rd, 2022. Exhibit number 2 is typewritten notice of hearing, posted at the Municipal Center, on the city's website, on the subject property, and mailed to property owners within 300 feet of that property, with a list of those owners attached. And exhibit number 3 is bill number 2230.
Thank you. I believe Mr. and Mrs. Hellman are here to answer questions. Just make any statements, that's fine, but you don't need to, that's fine. Are there any questions of the applicant or discussion? Sir?
I'm an immediate neighbor of Dr. Hellman and.
I'm so sorry. Can you come up to the microphone and tell us your name and address?
Yes, please. My name is Devin Aney, 2260 Bondbridge Road, and I'm the immediate neighbor of Dr. Hellman and been a neighbor for 30 years. He's been a wonderful neighbor. I totally support his application for building the pavilion.
Thank you, and I'm sure Dr. Hellman appreciates you being here, and if I remember correctly, this went through P and Z unanimously. So which is in rapidly, which I'm gonna tell you for P and Z is not usual. So, I mean, it absolutely sailed through there.
I know, I've had that experience before.
Thank you.
We're well known. And any other questions? Then I will now declare the public hearing closed. Appointments. I seek the board's support to make the following chairman appointments. Alderman Michelle Francisco to the Parks and Trails Commission, and Alderman Fritz Weezahan to the Police, Fire, and EMS Commission. All the other commission chairs will remain the same. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great, congratulations. Next, I would like to recognize the board's opportunity to select an acting president of the board.
Mayor, thank you. It would be my pleasure to nominate Alderman Holman as acting board president.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would, any other discussion? I know I'm not voting, but I think it's a great choice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, obviously it carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And congratulations and thanks for your service, Sue.
Yeah.
For your last year as president board of Aldermen.
Thank
You did a very fun job. Also, I finally want to announce my intent to appoint David Murphy to Parks and Trails and Mohammed Akka to Ways and Means at the next Board of Aldermen meeting. And I would also like to note that I've asked the city clerk to begin the reappointment application process for all those commission members who are or will be expiring. Next, I would like to give the commission chairman an opportunity to provide a report if they so desire. Alderman Morton.
Yes, the police, fire, and EMS will be meeting on May 24th at 4:30, and we'll be transitioning the fence at that time.
Thank you. Alderman Perot.
Thank you, Mayor. Planning and zoning will be meeting on Wednesday, the 18th, and the Woods Mill Center proposal has been continued at the request of the developer to the June meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Alderman Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. The Ways and Means Commission will meet Friday, May 20th at 8:30 here at the Municipal Center. That will be in person. And we did have a task force meeting for the Veterans First Responders Tribute, and I've asked Alderman Francisco to briefly comment on that. I was on Zoom.
That's fine.
Yeah, everything went really well. We met with SWT again, and we're narrowing the plans for that. And that's kind of it. There's not really much more until we have something more finalized.
Thank you. Alderman Weezy.
I just want to mention that this Friday is the first, the concert series for the year. It goes from 5 to 9 p.m. From 5 to 6, we'll have the free seedling giveaway, and the dog booths will be open. From 6 to 9, the Wax Museum will be playing, and then as well as Patrick Smokehouse and Steampunk Brewery, and the businesses in Town Square will be open.
Those are a lot of fun.
It's also free to the public this year.
Yeah. Thank you. Alderman Pullman.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Works Commission will meet on Monday, May 16th at 6:30. If there's any interest in stormwater, come join us because that is our only agenda item.
That's a big item.
It is a big
It's a
one.
very big item.
I anticipate being there a couple of hours.
Yeah, I would think so. And Mr. Shelton, do you have a report?
No report tonight.
Okay, great. All right, moving on to unfinished business, bill number 22-27, sponsored by Alderman Pullman Hughes. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2227 is an ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 125, Boards, Commissions, and Committees of the Town and Country Municipal Code, specifically by the deletion of Section 125.270 regarding the beautification grant program, and the amendment of Section 125.250 regarding related duties.
Thank you. I seek a motion to approve
So moved.
in a second.
Second.
All right, and I would open it up for discussion or amendment. Alderman Weezy.
Thanks. I appreciate the consideration that was given for this to eliminate it. Had some conversation with Alderman Holman. I guess my thought is, I also have the appreciation of what went into starting this. And given that we've had about $13,000 spent a year, I'd almost rather figure out a way to put it on hold while we figure out the finances, then eliminate eliminate this altogether. I don't know if that's something that could be amended to make that proposal, or just otherwise, I don't know if I'd support it as it is.
Alderman Holman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to share with the board, and I've already had some preliminary discussions with board members, but this did begin in the Public Works Commission as a conversation for a moratorium, put a hold on it. And as the commissioners who, represent every ward were discussing the beautification grant, the history of it, the use of it, they quickly moved from putting a moratorium on it to going forward with the program elimination, because as they thought through it, regardless of what's happening in our bank account, if they had $25,000 to spend for beautification in our city, they would like those city public funds to benefit all. So some ideas that came up were, we don't offer lighting to our residents, and doing a lighting program or a stop sign program or a street program. In our comprehensive plan, it recommends that we have city identifiers at our key points of entry that say, welcome to town and country, and established and population. So we feel that the commission felt that there was a better use of these public funds, regardless of how many dollars, whether it was a tough budget cycle or if we were moving and grooving with funds in our bank account. And another thing that I'll just add, if this should remain as a moratorium or an active ordinance, I will be coming back with a recommendation to move it out of the road fund when Ways and Means goes through the planning cycle, and put it in a capital or a general fund. But this process didn't start because we were looking to cut $25,000 out of the budget. It was how do we better use that $25,000?
If I remember from the meetings here, there was a lot of discussion was toward, let's put this money toward things that enhance public safety, as opposed to, I don't think anybody has anything against the beautification program, but it was a sense of, we probably could do some things that enhance public safety a little bit more with this money than the beautification program for a particular subdivision. So that was kind of the consensus that I had feeling at that meeting.
Right. And we did talk about the census, and not all of the stats and information is out, but we talked about the average income in the household, the average residential single property price point, which is well over $600,000. And that played into the part of the conversation as well.
Any other discussion? Alderman now.
Thank you, Mayor. And to add to those comments, one of our Ward 4 communities did get that grant. And we've had a lot of audits this year. Well, at least two of them talked about how we're very light on staff. And I know this past year with the one grant that was given out to Fairfield, it was work intense for our staff.
Right.
And so again, to me, it's utilizing the great staff we have to the maximum benefit. And often, you all probably heard me say too many times, it's what's nice to have and what do we have to have. And right now, and I typically am looking at the whole fiscal well-being of the city. I 100% support elimination, and people can always beautify their own areas, and we have to love the city.
Alderman Holman.
I just want to put a bow on it, and I want to dovetail what you're speaking to. So that beautification grant went towards trees. We spent a little over $1,000 of public funds on trees for a subdivision. And in our community, we have the ash borer situation where we have many, many trees that we are taking down when they're infested, and we are not replacing those trees when they come down. Because we're not using public funds to do that. So this would be another opportunity if we eliminate this, those funds are now available to do something like that, to replace a tree when a tree comes down. So, share that.
I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Holman.
Aye.
Alderman Even.
Aye.
Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Weasahan.
Nay.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Francisco.
Aye.
And Alderman Perot.
Aye.
The bill carries 7-1 and becomes ordinance number 4508.
Thank you very much. Bill number 22-28, sponsored by Alderman Holman and Hughes. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2228 is an ordinance authorizing a professional services agreement with CDG Engineers for pre-planning services related to the Boak Road Rehabilitation and Multi-Use Path Project.
I would seek a motion to approve in a second.
So moved.
Thank you. Any discussion or amendment? I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Weasahan.
Aye.
Alderman Perot.
Aye.
Alderman Holman.
Aye.
Alderman Francisco.
Aye.
Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
And Alderman Even.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously, becomes ordinance number 4509.
Thank you. Number 3, bill number 22-29, supported by the board as a whole. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2229 is an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing an agreement with NB West Contracting for the 2022 road and parking lot pavement program and amending the 2022 budget by increasing expenditure accounts in the road fund, parks and stormwater fund, and capital improvements fund, and transferring and appropriating funds to cover those increases.
Thank you. I would seek a motion to approve
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Any discussion or amendment? Alderman Allen.
Thank you, Mayor. As I read through this and we talked about where we are big picture spending. And I know that we have our budget. We then appropriate those funds. But where we are, I will abstain from this because I'm still concerned about our big picture for our funding of taking the capital fund. So for now, we have projects going on and we've had great, we have topping going on. And I believe we have our project manager on it. We've made improvements in the process, but I'd like to hold off on this.
Robert, would you want to comment on this a little bit, especially, I think, in terms of the...
Yes, and I'll defer to Mr. Dolly if I say anything inappropriate or incorrect. But the cost, obviously, this was rebid in order to obtain more efficient, lower costs. So this is our second time around. And we do feel these are very competitive bids. The cost is higher than what we had budgeted. And Alderman, to speak to the capital, it's approximately $7,000 over what was budgeted. However, I think if you put this off a year, the conditions worsen, the work increases, and from everything I know, petroleum prices are not getting lower, and a lot of this is pavement, asphalt work. So I don't think we're going to save money by deferring it. I understand the concern about it being over budget, but every effort was made to lower the cost. These are the best prices we can get, and I think they're competitive.
Thanks, Bob. It's kind of how I understood that. Any other discussion or amendment? Alderman Holman.
Thank you, Mayor. And this road work is going to be conducted, if passed, in Ward 1 and Ward 3 in our municipal parking lot and Dre's parking lot. And another piece that really drove this up is the mobilization and the bids that came in. And that really gets down to workforce and where these contractors can load in dollars. And we did have a long conversation where we do have some builders and engineers in our Public Works Commission that said this number doesn't get better in the near future. And it's not only the petroleum, it is the mobilization piece of it. So that's why we decided to move forward with it and take care of these roads. You know, roads have to hit around a 7 on the Pacer scale before we start taking a look at them, and some of these are out of 5. So that's why it's on the list. These aren't roads that are 7.5, 8, 9, or 10. This is work that needs them in for the public safety of our roadways.
And it also has to do with what they just look like to the general public. There is an area of road that's in Creed Court that I pass pretty much every day near Mercy Hospital. And it's like, well, actually, I don't go to work every day. It's the days I go to work. You know, it's kind of in pretty bad repair. And it sort of sends a message to what your city looks like. So I support that. Any other discussion or amendment? Alderman Allen?
So you're saying this does affect safety?
Well, any work, I think, on a road, when we go to resurface it, it's safety, so the traction of the tires on the roadway. And when it hits a certain number on the Pacer scale, it indicates that that's when you should really start taking action. And that's the document that our city clerk asked if I wanted to add into the packet, and I don't, and we can Google it, but that's what the city uses to make these decisions.
For the road,
Not
not necessarily a trail.
correct. This is 100% road and parking. This is does not include any trail. The Longview and Drace were removed.
Thank you. I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Holman.
Aye.
Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
Alderman Even.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Francisco.
Aye.
Alderman Perot.
Aye.
Alderman Weasahan.
Aye.
And Alderman Allen.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4510.
Thank you. Next, for resolution number R02-2022, continued from 4/25/22. A resolution placing a temporary moratorium on private street acceptance by the city of London Country, effective immediately and valid through calendar year 2022. And if I'm not mistaken, anything that's in the works already stays in the works. And again, this is only valid through about the next 8 months. I seek a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Alderman Holman.
Thank you. So the memo says it all for everyone, where we are just, the Public Works Commission wants to put the temporary moratorium on the application or acceptance of private streets being turned over to the city. And the reason why we want to do this is we want to have a complete audit assessment of the conditions of all of our public streets, and that is taking place this summer. We have hired an intern, and they will be working through that. And then once we receive that information, we will go back and look at the language, for the acceptance of private to public, come back to the board with recommendations, amendments, what have you. And we've committed, our commission has committed to getting this done before the end of the year, and have something back to this board. So we're just asking you to give us those 7 months, I think it is, to work on this, because we're just finishing up our subcommittee in stormwater, and we're working through that language to bring that forward. So we hope to have that to you by July, and then we'll hit the ground running on roads.
Thank you. I think we can do this by voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I think it carries unanimously. New business, number 5, bill number 22-30. I seek a sponsor for the bills, hopefully Alderman Even, and a second, Alderman Holman and Hughes. Good. Without objection, would the city clerk read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 2230 is an ordinance approving a conditional use and authorizing a conditional use permit for an accessory structure, a pavilion, located at 12051 Gale Crest Lane in the city of Town and Country.
Thank you. Bill number 22-30 is continued to the meeting of Monday, May 23rd, 2022, for the second reading and consideration. Number 6, architectural review for the Covenant Presbyterian Church located at 2143 North Dallas Road. I seek a motion and second to approve.
Excuse me, Mayor, I need to recuse on this one.
That is fine. That is
Thank
fine.
you.
Seek a motion to approve. Thank you. Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Thank you.
Mayor, I'll note for the record that Alderman Hughes has rejoined the dais. You can come back.
Next, number 7, bill number 22-31. Let's seek a sponsor for the bill.
I'd like to. And Holman?
In moment. Without objection, will the city clerk read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 2231 is an ordinance authorizing an engineering services agreement fee amendment with Rights and Gens in relation to the 21 Brook Mill and 1839 Woodmark stormwater projects.
Thank you. Bill number 22-31 is continued to the meeting of Monday, May 23rd, 2022, for the second reading and consideration. The warrant list is in the amount of $230,957.82. I seek a motion to approve. A second? Second. Thank you. Any discussion or amendment? All in favor?
Aye.
I do not have any other business myself. Does anyone else have anything to bring? Alderman Allen.
I would just like to say, we have a staff member who worked hard. We got the recap from Mr. Spencer about his recent meeting. And I thought it was very humble. And I think we all probably know he does a lot of work behind the scenes. And he covers us, literally, of knowing how we should proceed. And he's always working, and I just wanted to comment on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two things I have a question and I want to make a comment. And one of my comments was going to be similar to Alderman Allen's, where I appreciate Mr. Spencer's summary report on the National Planning Conference. I actually learned a lot of really good information as it pertains to our comprehensive plan. I was really happy to see that the city was highlighted in one of the workout sessions for their work that they did with the community, with bringing music back into an intersection area. And they did it at a very low cost, $50, took 6 months. I thought that was positive that our city was highlighted during this conference. But I appreciate the 3-page report back to us. And I'm thrilled that you received your 17 hours. So congrats and thank you. My question, and I think a lot of board members are have the same question, is there a save the date for our retreat?
Not at this time.
Okay, and speaking to a couple of our members tonight, we would just appreciate sooner than later. I think for those of us who have kiddos in school, they're out in about a month, and then I think our board starts departing for vacations and whatnot. So just that's a FYI as you're considering the date.
Let's talk and we'll get a date the next, we'll send out some potential dates the next day or so.
Great.
To that end, if this is now your summer request from me, if you have dates that you know you're not going to be here for Board of Aldermen, go ahead and send those my way because that'll help us start building some dates.
Okay, great.
Thank you. I would seek a motion and second to close the meeting pursuant to section 610.021, 1 and 2, revised statutes of Missouri to discuss legal actions, real estate, and attorney-client privileged communications. Any discussion or amendment about that?
So moved.
Thanks. I would ask the city clerk for a roll call vote.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Even.
Aye.
Alderman Holman.
Aye.
Alderman Moreland.
Aye.
Alderman Francisco.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan.
Aye.
And Alderman Perot.
Aye.
It carries unanimously and the board will not return to open session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you did. Thanks